Biography of Desmond Tutu. Desmond Tutu is a South African Anglican cleric and theologian known for his work as an anti-apartheid and human rights activist. He was the Bishop of Johannesburg from 1985 to 1986 and then the Archbishop of Cape Town from 1986 to 1996, in both cases being the first indigenous Black African to hold the position. Theologically, he sought to fuse ideas from Black theology with African theology. Politically, he identifies as a socialist, born of mixed Xhosa and Motswana heritage to a poor family in Klerksdorp, South Africa. Tutu moved around as a child. Entering adulthood, he trained as a teacher and married Nomaliza Tutu, with whom he had several children. In 1960, he was ordained as an Anglican priest and in 1962 moved to the United Kingdom to study theology at King's College, London. In 1966, he returned to Southern Africa, teaching at the Federal Theological Seminary and then the University of Botswana, Lesotho, and Swaziland. In 1972, he became the Theological Education Fund's Director for Africa, a position based in London but necessitating regular tours of the African continent. Back in Southern Africa in 1975, he served first as Dean of St. Mary's Cathedral in Johannesburg and then as Bishop of Lesotho. He played an active role in opposition to South Africa's apartheid system of racial segregation and white minority rule. From 1978 to 1985, he was General Secretary of the South Africa Council of Churches, emerging as one of South Africa's most prominent anti-apartheid activists. The pair led negotiations to dissolve apartheid. Tutu assisted as a mediator between rival Black factions. After the 1994 general election resulted in a coalition government headed by Mandela, the latter selected Tutu to investigate past human rights abuses committed by both pro and anti-apartheid groups. Since apartheid fall, Tutu has campaigned for gay rights and spoken out on a wide range of subjects, among them the Israel-Palestine conflict, his opposition to the Iraq War, and his criticism of South African presidents Thabo Mbeki and Jacob Zuma. He polarized opinion as he rose to fame in 1970s. White conservatives who supported apartheid despised him, while many white liberals regarded him as too radical. Many Black radicals accused him of being too moderate and focused on cultivating white goodwill, while Marxist-Leninists criticized his anti-communist stance. He was widely popular among the Black majority and was internationally praised for his anti-apartheid activism, receiving a range of awards, including the Nobel Peace Prize. He has also compiled several books of his speeches and sayings. Desmond Tutu was born on 7th of October 1931 in Klerksdorp, a city in northwest South Africa. His mother, Alendroathy Mabezek, was born to a Motswana family in Bosburg. His father, Zachariah Tutu, was from the Amavengu branch of Xhosa and had grown up in Eastern Cape. Tutu had a close relationship with his father, although was angered at the latter's heavy drinking, during which he would sometimes beat his wife. The family were initially Methodists and Tutu was baptized into the Methodist Church in June 1932. They subsequently changed denominations, first to the African Methodist Episcopal Church and then to the Anglican Church. In 1936, the family moved to Shin, where Zachariah was employed as the principal of a Methodist school. They lived in a hut in the schoolyard. There, Tutu started his primary education and played football with other children, also becoming the server at St. Francis Anglican Church. He developed a love of reading, particularly enjoying comic books and European fairy tales. There, he also learned Afrikaans, the main language of the area. He had pursued his interest in Christianity and at the age of 12 underwent confirmation at St. Mary's Church, Rhodoport. Wanting to become a doctor, Tutu secured admission to study medicine at the University of Witwatersrand. However, his parents could not afford the tuition fees. Instead, he turned toward teaching, gaining a government scholarship to start a course at Pretoria Bantu Normal College, a teacher training institution, in 1951. There, he served as treasurer of the Students' Representative Council, helped to organize the Literacy and Dramatic Society, and chaired the Cultural and Debating Society for 2 years. It was during one local debating event that he first met the lawyer and future president of South Africa, Nelson Mandela. The latter did not remember the meeting and they would not encounter each other again until 1990. He had also taken 5 correspondence courses provided by the University of South Africa, graduating in the same class as future Zimbabwean leader Robert Mugabe. In 1954, he began courting Normalizolia Shanzin, a friend of his sister Gloria, who was studying to become a primary school teacher. They were legally married at Kugadop in 1955. The newly married couple initially lived in a room at Tutu's parental home before renting their own home 6 months later. The couple worshipped at St. Paul's Church, where Tutu volunteered as Sunday school teacher, assistant choir master, church counselor, lay preacher, and subdeacon. While outside of the church, he also volunteered as a football administrator for a local team. In 1953, the White Minority National Party government had introduced the Bantu Education Act as a means of furthering their apartheid system of racial segregation and white domination. With the support of his priest, Tutu left the teaching profession to become an Anglican priest. Tutu studied the Bible, Anglican doctrine, church history, and Christian ethics. In December 1960, Edward Paget ordained Tutu as an Anglican minister at St. Mary's Cathedral. Tutu was then appointed assistant curate in St. Alban's Parish, Benoni, where he was reunited with his wife and children. They lived in a converted garage. By the 1980s, Tutu had become an icon for many black South Africans, his stature among them rivaled only by Mandela. In October 1994, Tutu announced his intention to retire as Archbishop in 1996. Although retired archbishops normally return to the position of bishop, the other bishops bestowed on him a new title, Archbishop Emeritus. A farewell ceremony was held at St. George's Cathedral in June 1996, attended by senior politicians like Mandela and de Klerk. There, Mandela awarded Tutu the Order for Meritorious Service, South Africa's highest honor. Tutu advocated what liberation theologians called critical solidarity, offering support for pro-democracy forces while reserving the right to criticize his allies. In October 2010, Tutu announced his retirement from public life so that he could spend more time at home with his family, reading, writing, praying, and thinking. In May 2013, Tutu declared that he would no longer vote for ANC, stating that while the party was very good at leading them out of struggle to be free from oppression, it had done a poor job in countering inequality, violence, and corruption in South Africa. Tutu gained many international awards and many honorary degrees, particularly in South Africa, United Kingdom, and United States. By 2003, he had approximately 100 honorary degrees.